Hello Suzanne, thanks for joining us. You moved to Sydney in 1953 from Wellington in New Zealand. What were the main differences you found between Australians and New Zealanders?
William, when I first came here, to be controversial, the biggest difference in actual fact was racial issues. When I came to Australia in 1953, Australia was in the grip of the White Australia policy. At the time in New Zealand, we thought that we had no racial issues. And I think anyone could fairly say that if you belong to any racial group in the world, in the 1950s you would have chosen to have been a native in New Zealand in comparison to anywhere else. We didn't recognise that there were issues at the time, and it's lovely to be able to say that in many cases Australians' issues have changed. But apart from that particular thing and being rather horrified at the way Australians spoke about their Indigenous population, I really didn't see how they were treated, because there were very few Aborigines anywhere that I was. But Australians thought that they were considerably more worldly and sophisticated than New Zealanders. They very much regarded us as being country kids, which, because of a much smaller population, you can see, but I was a city girl, and going from a city in New Zealand to a city in Australia really wasn't a very big difference at all.
But do you ever feel that you've become part of it? You've become part of Australia? Do you feel Australian now?
Yes, I think in many ways. However, there are certain divide lines. Sorry, if the All Blacks are playing, I'm a New Zealander. If it's Australia against the world, I can be in Australia, but not Australia versus New Zealand. I'm a New Zealander every time. Quite interestingly, when I came to Australia, people as old as me will remember, younger people won't. But New Zealanders spoke much better than Australians did, and if you don't believe me, go back and listen to some of the old movie tone newses that were around.
Didn't Robert Muldoon, the Prime Minister of New Zealand, visit Australia once and come out with a famous quote?
He did. He arrived and he got tackled by a journalist who said to him, "What have you got to say about the number of New Zealanders who are coming to Australia to live?" And Peggy Muldoon fixed him with a very naughty eye and said, "Well, all I can say is that it raises the IQ in both countries." One of his more quotable bylines.
Do you think over the years that Aussies and Kiwis have moved closer together or moved further apart?
No, I think in consideration I'd say that the gap's about the same. It's a bit, I think, in some ways like the New South Wales and the Queenslanders and the Victorians and the New South Wales, very much that same sort of relationship. And in many ways, like Australians and Tasmanians and New Zealanders, we fit down in this bottom corner of the world, and we're able to get on and lead our lives, I think, without the interference, even although we're part of the world. In lots of ways, we make one. We are one in many ways.
Do you think Kiwis and Aussies then have a love-hate relationship?
Yes. If they had a state of origin between New Zealand and Australian football, I think it would be exactly the same as there is between New South Wales and Queensland.
Anything you'd like to add, Suzanne?
No, that's fine. Thank you, William.
Thank you, Suzanne. Talk to you soon.